we don't just pick a male animal and a female animal and put it in any male animal's cage for crossing. Just because it's a male and the other one is a female and want to keep. We look out for specific things. If you are rabbit, doe, or buck, and you don't meet a certain criteria, you're looking at how you're growing, the size of your head, the way you're picking up weight, and all that. If you don't qualify, you don't get in the production program. We terminate you.
Let's say I'm introducing to you Ahenfie Rabbitry. Why the name Ahenfie Rabbitry?
It started with my wife. My wife has a business, slipper business, sandals, slippers, and it's called Ahenfie Label.
Oh, okay.
So when we started this and we were contemplating what name to use, I was like, Ahenfie is it fits almost anything. So why not just Ahenfie Rabbitry? It was very easy.
Okay. So Ahenfie Rabbitry, Charlie, great location. When I was coming, right, Charlie, the weather, and I was like, no wonder they chose this place. It's good, and they are still even thinking, covering this side. When Tofik was explaining why you're planting some trees there to cover shade, the water system. One question I have with the water system is that you collect rain, but he also mentioned that you feed them water from the borehole. Have you tested the water already?
No.
You didn't. But I asked him if it's salt. He said no, it's not, because that's the same thing they drink over here. So getting natural water from Charlie, this is not the chemicalized one from Ghana water. This is just from the earth, directly to the rabbits. And when we entered, one of the first things I told my brother, Manny, the guy you see in the videos now, he's behind the camera today. I told him something. I told him that the rabbits look so relaxed. It's like they are not perturbed. Anyone coming here, they feel so comfortable. The place is cool, it's not warm, and it's not smelling. The only thing you perceive here is the usual urine, because we are standing next to them where it's being collected. And I like the system they are using. Everything looks clean and neat over here. First of all, come here. Come and see it for yourself. You can enjoy some motor adventure a bit small, but it'll be good. For what they are working on over here, I understand why they chose this location, right? If you want to provide a good and conducive atmosphere for the animals, you can't do this in Accra. Accra is way too hot for something like that. I love what is happening here. I will advise you to come here yourself on a weekend with your family. Travel, just clear your mind and say you are coming to experience something new. And please, even if you think you are an experienced farmer, come with an open mind, come and learn something. With the investment you have so far, what is that one thing you've learned from the startup point, the first pilot project you did, to this bridge where we are standing right now, phase 1A, you call it? That learning gap, what did you learn in that space for you to know that it is possible for you to be doing this investment and even to be thinking ahead?
There's several ways to answer this question, but I think the first and foremost thing I would say is basically it starts with you, me, the person who is basically engineering the whole system. You have to learn. You have to learn. I realize it's a continuous learning thing, because there's always something you can tweak to get a better result. For example, we don't just pick a male animal and a female animal and put it in any male animal's cage for crossing. Just because it's a male and the other one is a female and want to keep. We look out for specific things. If you are rabbit, doe, or buck, and you don't meet a certain criteria, you're looking at how you're growing, the size of your head, the way you're picking up weight, and all that. If you don't qualify, you don't get in the production program. We terminate you. Yes, you will go straight into meat line.
Okay.
Yes, we would have had so many, probably more than 250 by now. But we are selectively breeding. We are not just breeding, we are breeding selectively so that we can enrich the traits that we want in our farm. that's what I mean by learning all the time. Because previously when we started, we were just happy to cross a male and a female because they would deliver, right? But what is it going to look like in 3 months when the animals are weaned and you are expecting them to look some way and you look at them and you are depressed? So it's you have to keep learning and you have to keep improving. You can ask Tofik every day. I keep asking him, so what do you think we can do to improve this? Even when it seems to be working, you're asking the question, why is it working? If it doesn't work, you're asking the question, why is it not working? So that you can constantly improve on what you're doing. So,
I know it's going to be a bit of a headache to work with a scientist, right? Simply because you like to read, you like to research and all that stuff. Now you have a trusted person you're working with. How do you then bridge the gap over there with the many things that is just coming into your head every day? How then do you translate that to him so that it's applied here practically on the farm to get the needed results?
Yeah, I mean, I've learned that you can, the only way you can get somebody to do something is to make them want to do it. And I don't just push things down his throat and say, Tofik, let's do. Before I suggest something, I am literally trying to get him to see where we are getting to with this. And when he sees it, once in a while he will say, no, he thinks this, because of course he lives here with them all the time. So he would say, oh, but I think this is it. A few times I would say, okay, let's keep going with your way. And eventually, if it works, we are all happy. But if we hit the roadblock, then he's like, that's why you were saying this and this and this. And when we get back to it, we see that we are getting good results. So I am not autocratic, but and that's how I work, even with the people I work with. I always want to make sure there's room for opinion, other people's thoughts. And there is a blueprint. We will not deviate from that. We have one goal we all want to achieve. But at the same time, I don't want to be so fixated that I make the people who are doing the hands-on feel like they don't matter. I take their input, and if I have to tweak it, I tweak it, and then feed it back to them. And when they are doing it, they are happy. They feel included in the decision and all that. So it's been quite easy, frankly, to sell ideas to him that are sometimes a bit far off. But for example, we are testing a new way of breeding. Yes, and again, I want the data to start coming in before we disclose that. But the few ones that have started coming in, it looks promising. And when I first told him, he was like, oh, but why do we want to do it that way? I said, well, then I explained the biology. I explained the biology of rabbit reproduction to him. And he was like, okay, maybe it will work. I don't have to tell him twice. Now, every time I ask him, have you bred the animal? Did you use this method? He was like, yes. So he's come to appreciate that this may work, this may be a good, and when the data start coming in, I'm sure he'll be even more convinced. So it's the goal is there, but I'm very, very open to learning, and I can learn from anybody who has something good to teach me. That's really the philosophy.
Learn from anyone who has something good to teach you.
Yes.
My next point will be, once production is ongoing, there are different angles to it. So someone is looking at maybe being an active breeding center to supply good breeds to other people to farm, or even for yourself for continuous production. And if it has to do with meat production, then of course, for now, you have to sell to someone before you create your own avenue. Of course, you mentioned even if they are not coming, you can set up restaurants and all that. How do you currently sell?
Currently, our sales have mainly been breeding stock. Like I told you, because we are selectively breeding, if an animal doesn't meet the traits that we want to keep in our breeding stock, we exclude them from the line and we get them to a certain age, then we slaughter them. Usually people buy them very easily. We have people who are constantly asking, "Oh, I want rabbit meal." Like, no, we are not selling meat yet. So that has never been a problem. It has never been a problem. But the main supply that we do now is the breeding stock.
Okay.
Yes. If we hadn't been supplying breeding stock, we probably would have killed about a quarter or two, or more than that, of the farm, or maybe even half by now. Yes. But because we keep supplying. For example, today somebody is getting 2, so then I'm leaving here, I'm going to send 2 away. And so that's how it's been going.
Okay.
Yes.
Do you offer training?
It's in the plan, but we haven't started yet.
Okay.
But what I do is, if anybody is watching it, they can testify. If somebody calls me and has questions, I am very, very happy to respond to them. Whatever little I know, I'm happy to share. Very, very open. I mean, there's one person who sends me tons of questions on WhatsApp. I'm not saying everybody should send me questions on WhatsApp, but I mean, and for example, this week was a very busy week for me at work, but I got back home in the evening. I saw so many messages, and I replied to every single one of them. Because my hope is that we get more people excited about rabbit farming, and so that they do it, and not just do it, but do it big. That's really the focus. We want to encourage more people to do it big. We're going to compete with chicken, pork, beef, and these other meat sources, which are not as healthy as these ones. We have to get the right attention. You can't get attention when you're very little. You have to grow. We have to get it big. If I'm doing big, somebody else is doing it big, other person is doing it big. Together, we will make a loud noise and people will listen.
With the little experience you have now, I do this because it's not knowledge. It's limitless in its own way, right?
Yeah.
But I'm talking with the little experience by way of the number of years you've been doing it. People literally will look at it from that angle.
Oh yeah.
That, oh, this guy has been farming 20 years and you know that kind of stuff.
Yes, of course.
What has been the one challenge you've seen in the rabbit farming space in Ghana, and what solution do you think is viable for that?
I'm going to speak from my experience.
Yes, please do.
Yes. I think trust for me is probably the most important thing. I will single out trust. And one of the reasons we didn't succeed in our first enterprise was because the supply we got for the breeding stock were simply not the best. And because we were quite naive and were very anxious and excited to get started, it didn't go so well. You contact some of the very old farmers, are very easy to approach. They are so easy to talk to and so easy to, but I have met some middle level, intermediate level kind of farmers who are overly closed up in a way that sometimes I feel like, what are you afraid of? What are you afraid of? We should be helping each other to grow this industry. And if I don't know something, I ask you, or if I believe you can help me get a better stock, and we would have had some of the local stock here on our farm, but we're going to get it through somebody. And the whole approach about it was like this cloak and dagger thing, and I was like, it's too complicated. I want simple things. We can't do it. If it's that complicated, I'm not going to be part of it. So I feel like trust is either, I don't even know how it happened, but people are a bit too afraid to trust. And maybe they have a reason, because I have experienced something, but I'm not so closed up, honestly speaking. If somebody asks me something that I know, I'm happy to share. So if we can trust each other more and hopefully work together a little bit closer, I think we have a chance.
We have a chance.
Yes, I think we have a chance. But currently it looks a little bit fragmented.
If I return here in the next 2 years, what am I to expect? What would I possibly see? What would you say I would see here on this one?
In the next 2 years, the hope is that this will be a complete farm, and we will probably have an annex. Because, as I said, with the 1A, we have plans to set up a whole stock here and hopefully expand, depending on the demand. We want to grow. You see, first of all, we don't. The reason we are like this is because we want to grow with the knowledge it requires to manage this thing. We don't want to take on the size of a farm that our knowledge is not there yet to manage. But because we are learning every day and we are growing, I am pretty confident that we are getting to a place where we can manage this kind of size of farm. And the goal is bigger than this size of the farm. So once we are okay here, we have no limitations at all in expanding. Yes.
Do you use any medication, Sophie?
No.
Why?
We use one, ivermectin.
Okay.
But we have it on a schedule.
Okay.
I think it's once in every 4 months or so.
Okay.
Then we give. But besides that, we don't give anything.
Why that very one?
For deworming and also preventing of cancer.
Okay.
Yes.
But
But we were told, we were advised, you can't wean a rabbit without coccidiostatin and all that. We've been weaning rabbits here without anything. It works perfectly, and mortality is near zero.
And I believe you can attribute it to the nutrition,
sanitation, and the right timing. Yes.
I would like to get into that again. But you are still gathering information about this new breeding technique you're using here and the data. I would like to actually hear it. I would like to see some things so that we follow. I think what you're doing here is remarkable in the sense that even if it doesn't work out the way you have planned, this is also the reason why I make the videos I do. I document, although I get nothing from it literally, so that 10 years from now, whoever thinks of something will know that farmer A, B, C, or D started and laid something down. We do not have research materials on rabbit farming in our side of the world, Ghana to be specific. You are one person who can do something like that with what you have over here. And so with the videos you keep putting out on your channel and things you're working on right now, I know that you're leaving behind a good template for someone to come through and even take it to a higher level. Even if not that, as we speak, you're also open to want to see people grow and come into the whole fold. So more like the franchise system, you might have some good information to give to those who have money and are willing to actually plow the journey in a good way. I applaud you for that. I really like what you're doing here. I must tell you, I really like what you're doing here. Guys, I'm going to end the video right here. My name is Modine. This is Rabbit and More. Thank you very much for watching this video. And if you have questions, leave the questions in the comment section below. Ahenfie Rabbitry will also watch and reply you if there is anything. I will leave their contact details in the video and also in the description box. And so feel free to hit us up every day. Their channel will also officially be tagged in the description box below. My name is Modine. Thank you to the team. You have money here. He's behind the camera. And also to the wonderful Mr. Bright here. Taufik, come. Taufik over here. He's the engineer.
Taufik, the main man.
Yeah, Taufik is the main man behind everything here. And I'm very, very glad that I came here today. And guys, come here and come visit Ahenfie Rabbitry. And if you want to buy, even on your blind side, without coming here, you can send your money. That I'm telling you for sure. Do that and you won't regret it. Ciao, ciao.